Hello children, and welcome to the English class of Standard 7. So children, you all like to go to trips, right? And our Rosary School has organized so many trips outside, not just one day trip. You like to go for a trip like for a overnight or maybe 4 days, 3 nights and all. You love that. And Rosary has always organized trips to Goa. But imagine a day when it goes ahead of time, like now we are in 2020. I know 2020 has been a little too surprising for all of us and suddenly brought so many changes in our life. But imagine, we are advancing day by day. There are so many new things that have come up, new technology. And imagine with one day in future, maybe after the 2030 or 2040 or whatever it is, in future, that is, you will become big and you will have your own children also maybe. And imagine their schools taking them for a trip to a place outside the earth, that is in space. Imagine, how is it? Isn't it? What a wonderful thing it would be. Yes, and okay, plus wherever you go for a trip, what do you think? You go, especially you miss out the shopping? Never. We always like to shop for something and buy things from there for all our loved ones back at home. Something that we can cherish and keep for a longer period and remember for our memories. And such a thing that we bring just to keep as a memory, as a remembrance. Or we give also sometimes to people for weddings or at birthday parties or whatever. We give back certain small gifts for memory's sake. Just to keep it, to remember. Keep that incident or that trip or whatever that function, to keep it as a memory. We return something or we bring something back home. That what we keep for remembrance is called a souvenir. So there I'm telling both the things, souvenir and a trip. So now, and a trip that go outside the earth. Imagine. Okay, anything. But over here we have this writer who has written a story. The writer, he has written actually a Marathi story. This is, and that too it is a space fiction. You know what is space fiction? Fiction itself is all imaginative. It's not real. It's not based on facts, but it is based on imaginary or fiction. And space fiction is something related to the space, that is outside the earth, the universe. All in the universe, that is space fiction. And so here we have a Marathi story, Bhet. Actually, Bhet is a gift written by Lakshman Londhe. Okay, this was a Marathi story, Bhet. It was a Marathi story, but the name of the story was Bhet, and the author was Lakshman Londhe. Now this author, his story, this what he has written, this fiction, is about space and that to travel to the moon, and it has been translated into English for you. Especially for you, this story has been translated in English. And now in English, Bhet is a gift. In Marathi, Bhet means gift. But here we have the name of the story, the translation, Souvenir. So we are doing on page number 24, 2.2, the souvenir. Souvenir is something, a thing that is kept as a remembrance or a gift given to somebody, or brought for your family or your house just for remembrance. That is a souvenir. It's a gift that is given to somebody for remembrance. So we are doing lesson 2.2. So first meaning itself. Which is a thing or gift kept or given remembrance. So a thing or a gift kept or given to somebody as a remembrance. That is a souvenir. And so we are going to read the story. And what is the story about? It is space fiction. It is a fiction, means it's not real. Everything over here is not real. It is all imaginary. And in this imagination, the author, the writer in his Marathi book, story, Lakshman Lode has written about us going into space. Taking the school has taken a trip to where? Not to Goa, not to Kashmir, but not to Europe also, but straight to the moon. Of course, this won't happen now. It is something that is imaginary. So they've gone straight to the moon for 3 days. Imagine if you get this opportunity. What a wonderful thing it would be, isn't it? To see the moon. And so here they've gone to the moon. And there, what is different from the earth? That the author has used the facts and made an imaginary story too. He's used a few facts about the moon. Like, for example, what is it? Like the gravitational force of the moon is 1/6 that of the earth. Now, what is gravitational force? The force exerted by the different the planets and all to attract things towards themselves. So that is why on the earth we can stand, and because the gravitational force is pulling us, anything that we throw falls down straight on the ground. That is the gravitational force which brings it down. When you are playing, the ball doesn't keep flying up, it comes down. But when you go in space, it is different. So on moon, this gravitational force is 1/6 of that of the earth. So if you are on moon, you won't be standing straight and writing on the table. Everything will be flying here and there. Will be a little lighter compared to what we are on earth. If your mass of the earth is 50 kg, there it will be 1/6 of your weight. So you will be lighter, and so you will not fall like a feather. How it is light, so it doesn't fall quickly on the earth. It can still keep flying in the air. So that is why lighter things will not be attracted so fast by the gravitational force. It won't pull it, isn't it? Similarly, so this fact of the moon's gravitational force being less than the earth has been used in his fiction. Then another fact that has been used in his fiction is of Neil Armstrong. Now, who was Neil Armstrong? Do you remember? Do you know who Neil Armstrong was? Yes, he was an astronaut and the first person to land on moon. His footprints were there. So the first person to land on moon. So this fact also has been used a little bit in his fiction, in his imaginary story. So what is the Souvenir? Actually, it is a science fiction, a story, imaginary story written by the author Lakshman Lode, actually in Marathi, what the name was Bhet. Now translated specially for you, for your textbook, English textbook, the Souvenir. So we will start reading it now. With the tip of her nose pressed to the window of the space shuttle, Saili sat gazing at the view outside for so long. Still, she didn't seem to be contented. So, Saili was sitting with her tip of her nose pressed to the window of the space shuttle. Space shuttle, spaceship. Anything. A shuttle is actually any form of transport that travels regularly between two places. So, what is a shuttle actually? Shuttle is any form of transport that travels regularly between two places. So this is of course this spaceship over here. Of course it is a spaceship which is moving. That's why it has been given a name of a shuttle, because it must be going. So the imagination over here of the writer is that there is a space shuttle. That means it's traveling up and down, going from the moon, bringing passengers here, taking passengers from the earth to the moon. So this is, and she is in this shuttle, Saini, and she's gazing outside, gazing, looking at the view outside for so long. Still, she didn't seem to be contented. She was not satisfied with it. She didn't feel contented, satisfied. Contented, satisfied. I hope you underline and keep your textbook in front and underline and write down certain meanings. I hope you do that. Okay, so here still she didn't seem to be contented. She didn't seem to be satisfied because she really wanted to see more and more. She was not just satisfied with looking at that view. She had read the description of this view several times before and had seen this scene on the video too. So she had seen this. We also nowadays with the advanced telephones and mobiles and all, we are seeing everything. Just type moon and the views of moon, whatever it is, and you will get the images of moon, videos of the landing of the astronauts. So you get to see so many things. So she has also seen all that. She's seen videos of the moon. She's seen all the pictures, different pictures in encyclopedias, in other books, but this was different. Now what was different here? But this was different. Reading the description was one thing. Of course, just reading and imagining again was one thing. Looking at videos, watching pictures and videos captured by the camera was another. But what was different here? Here, getting an opportunity to view that amazing panorama with your own eyes, being present physically right in the midst of it, was indeed an out-of-the-world experience. Isn't it? So what was different? You're reading in a book, you're watching it on a video, fine, all that is there, but you're not there. You're just seeing it, sitting in your room. But being there, being present over there, and seeing this panorama. A panorama is a very wide view, in a picture you get to see only that much particular. Isn't it? A panorama is when your eyes move around and see everything, a wider view of the whole thing. So, panorama is a wide view. A very wide view. So just imagine being there, present, and actually feeling everything. Looking at pictures and reading is just one thing, but actually being there was a different experience altogether. And here the writer has used the line out of the world experience. Now here out of the world, she was actually out of our world, isn't it? So it can have that two meanings over there. We are out of the world experience. Out of the world means just beyond like your imagination. Beyond your imagination also it means out of the world. We use this phrase. We use this phrase to tell anything that is beyond our imagination. Not realistic, just beyond your imagination. So out of the world is a term used for expressing that something that you see is beyond your imagination. But over here it can also have a double meaning where it can say out of the world because actually she was out of the world, that is our world, the earth. Right? She was already out of the world also. So it can have that two meanings over there. No matter how long she sat gazing, Her awe and wonder did not seem to abate. So she kept on watching this so long she was, and it didn't matter how long. Every time she was not satisfied at all, and that awe and wonder, that admiration, that amazement. So both together, both mean the same. That she was so surprised and it was so beautiful, so wonderful that she just could not, she kept on watching. But that awe and wonder, her experience did not abate, did not become less. Abate, become less. To abate is become less. To abate, to become less. And awe and wonder is something that is again a beautiful sight. Awe is admiration and something that can be admired. And wonder, of course, you're amazed to see it. Wonderful thing. So the awe and wonder did not seem to abate. Her awe, that wonder and amazement did not seem to become less. The earth gradually appeared to get smaller and smaller in the sky. The azure blue sky was now looking jet black. The clouds had disappeared, the stars were shining bright. Stars, another fact, stars have their own light, isn't it? So they always shine brighter. They are whenever you are writing the difference between stars and planets, you always know that one big difference is stars have their own light, planets don't have their own light. And that is why stars shine more than the planets, and they twinkle while they are shining, right? They twinkle. Whereas planets, they do not. Planets, because they usually reflect the lights of the stars, isn't it? That is how what light we have is from the sun, the biggest star, isn't it? So over here we see the sky looked blue for us, isn't it? From the earth, the sky looks nice and bright blue. Azure is a bright blue, a shade of color. Azure is a shade of color which says the sky color bright blue, the cloudless sky, just bright blue, that is what azure. And now what was it looking? Jet black, because they had come out of the area of the earth. So now it was looking jet black, and the clouds, they had passed all the clouds, and now clouds are in the atmosphere, but now they're outside the atmosphere, so everything was jet black. But the stars which were there around in the universe, they were still shining. Now what about this trip? This trip to the moon was exorbitantly expensive. This is where a flashback they are showing of what happened in her house before the trip. So the trip to the moon was exorbitantly expensive. But still, Saile's mother had sent her on the trip. Exorbitantly, unreasonably. It was very, very expensive. Unreasonably expensive. Unreasonably. So exorbitantly, unreasonably. Like it was not easy for anybody of us to go. It was really very, very expensive. But still, Saile's mother had sent her for her trip. You know that. You all also want to go to Goa whenever we arrange a trip. And however expensive it is for your parents, they still send you for what? Just for that joy on your face and that experience that you get from that trip. And that only gives joy to the parents too. And then while giving her the permission, what did the mother say? Look at this, what the mother said. In our childhood, we could not even think of such long distance trips. The longest trip meant going to Europe. If you are getting this opportunity, make the most of it, said Mummy. So what did she say? So just see this. What did she say? That good, you are getting to go to the moon, just take it. Because our time when we were in school, we could at the most go to the longest trip. The longest trip that we had was right till Europe. Not beyond that. So, and you are getting to go out of the earth into the space on the moon. So, take it. Don't leave such an opportunity. And that's the time when Sally tells the mother, oh mummy, Neha's grandmother was saying that in their childhood, the longest trip for school children used to be only up to Delhi or Kolkata. It seems so funny, isn't it? Said Sally laughing. Remembering the incident made her laugh even now. So what did she say? But Neha's grandmother, her friend's grandmother, what did she say while allowing Neha to go? Oh, our childhood, we could go at the most to Delhi or Kolkata. So just imagine. So grandmother, then mother and this child. So grandmother went to only up to Kolkata. Mother went up to Europe. And now the daughter is going up to the moon. So what the imagination, the author has written this imaginative space fiction. So what time do you think it could be? Is it 1990, 2020 or 2050? What do you think? Definitely it could be 2050, isn't it? So this time period could be of a later period. Is it not now? Maybe later, as I told you, your children may get to go and you may say the same thing to your parents or you should, to your children. Or you should go because our time at the most we went to Goa, so you better go. And of course you all want to go to different places also, right? So you are going to tell that, and that is what the mother told over here. Our time it went, the longest trip was to Warren, and the grandmother said our time the longest trip was up to Delhi. Now the shuttle was back to the space. This was the flashback where she remembered what her mother said while sending her to the trip. And now back to the present now where she is. Now the shuttle was getting closer and closer to the moon. Then it started orbiting the moon. In every 32 minutes, the shuttle completed one revolution round the moon. You know what is revolution and what is an orbit and orbiting? You know everything? Or anyway, you know that you have the earth, the moon is a satellite of the earth and it has its orbit around and it keeps moving. The moon also moves around. Okay, the earth, and this movement around the earth is the revolution. And orbiting, you know about the earth also. The earth on its own axis when it goes round and round, you know that's this thing, and this is the orbit. This whole thing is the orbit. Orbiting is another word for revolution, like moving around over here. Moving around over here, this is the earth is also orbiting around the sun. The earth orbits around the sun. The moon orbits around the earth. Got it? So here we have the shuttle completed one revolution round the moon. Light and darkness followed each other in quick succession. So as they were going, it was going on quickly because it takes how much? It doesn't take a lot of time for the moon to orbit around the earth. The dome-shaped settlements on the moon, which resemble the igloos and the Eskimos, were now visible. Okay, so in every 32 minutes, that is why it was becoming brighter and darker. After some time, Sally's shuttle made a slow, measured and safe landing on the moon. The door of the shuttle was opened and the children were escorted through an airtight tunnel to the settlement at the Neil Armstrong base. You know why it was called the Neil Armstrong base? Neil Armstrong base because in the beginning I told you Neil Armstrong was the astronaut who landed the moon. He was the first one to land on the moon. His footprints are still there. The receptionist at the entrance to the base gave some instructions at the very outset. I welcome you all to the Neil Armstrong base to make your stay on the moon pleasant and comfortable. I would like you to take certain precautions. Listen carefully to my instructions and please follow them during your stay. You know that the gravitational force of the moon is 1/6 that of the earth. In the human settlements on the moon, a gravitational force equivalent to that of the earth has been artificially maintained. But outside those settlements, the gravitational force of the moon is at work. You will have to be extremely careful when you roam around there. The second point to remember is related to shopping on the moon. You all must be interested in carrying souvenirs back home from the moon. Please buy the articles only from the shops which are inside the dome-shaped settlements. There you will be assured of genuine articles. Do not buy anything from the unauthorized shops outside the settlement. I wish you a very happy and pleasant stay on the moon. So this is a full announcement that the receptionist made, and few for you to remember. First of all, that the Earth's gravitational force and the moon's gravitational force. The moon's gravitational force is 1/6. That is why, and especially inside there were rooms and all dome-shaped rooms made specially where artificially they had maintained the Earth's gravitational force. So you are still standing and moving, walking and all. But when you are roaming outside, you may be little bouncy, you may be flying a little bit. Why? Because your weight suddenly will become lighter. That is why be careful when you are out. Another one and most important instruction which you have to remember before we go to the next period, I am going to end it now, and that is if you want to buy anything, souvenir, a gift for somebody you love back at home, buy from the dome-shaped ones only, which are inside the dome-shaped settlements and not from outside there, because that reason we will think about it in the next period. Okay? Don't buy from any unauthorized, illegal, not permitted shops. Buy only from those shops which are inside the dome. In the next period, I will explain why. Okay? So, read till here, page number 25. Thank you, children.